Hi friends. Okay, we're doing 2 flowers today. We just finished this ranunculus in a previous video, so if you want to check out that, this is from my flower book, my Light Wish, aka Potentate sketchbook that I'm devoting to nature. I've done several of these flowers already, and today we did the ranunculus. But I want to show you the book that I'm working from in order to get my botanically correct flowers painted here. And I will show you each of the supplies that I'm using and try to stay in the sunshine for you. And on camera, the last one, a little bit off camera, but not too bad. This is the Flower Color Guide by Phaedon, Taylor and Michael Putnam. I love this book. All of these supplies are going to be in the description below so that you can follow that link. You will not pay any more at Amazon by following that link. If it's on sale, it's going to be on sale. I just have an affiliate link that I get a really tiny little bit of commission if somebody buys through my site, through my channel, but you will not pay any additional. But it just makes it so much easier to find the things that I'm referencing that you might be interested in. So this book has all types of flowers. And, you know, as I showed you, I've done several of these already, but there's quite a few in here, different colors. So they start like with the whites, then the yellows, then the pinks, then the purples, whatever, and oranges. And I'm going to be working with just this simple little, it's called kangaroo paw, Anaxanthus flavidus. And yep, must be delivery. So there's the kangaroo paw, so you can see the description here. This is what that flower is going to look like. It's a little purple, pink, kind of a very interesting shape. So we're going to do the best we can to mimic that. And also the way that these leaves, the way that they come off the stems is very different from anything I've seen. So we're going to try to make sure that we get this as botanically correct as we can. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm working with the De La Roni, this little travel palette that I purchased during the Amazon days. I would stick with a pink purple kind of combination and a green. So just really 3 different colors is all we need. I will take my mechanical pencil and I will just mark generally where I want the flowers to be to maintain so you don't get lost, you know, and then you're off the page and you don't know how far, you know, you've gone. The highest one I'm going to put right in this area, and literally I'm just putting a dot. The main thing is just learning about these different flowers and their structure and the pattern. So this flower right here is going to get lost, so I'm going to put it more in this area. Let's start with this really pale cobalt violet, and let's just kind of create these little this is just laying out the initial shape. Well, this one I noticed there's a little bit down below here, so just going to kind of leave that in there. They all seem to have one bigger on the left and then the smaller ones. Oh, there's my hummingbird right behind me. Okay, this is easy. We can follow. You can follow along with me on this. It's just, you know, really just kind of, like I said, mapping it out, figuring out where you want the main flowers, and then looking at each individual flower and just kind of trying to mimic what you're seeing. It does not have to be exact. That's your, you know, hold on to that, because it's important to not stress yourself out when you're doing something like this, because it's so enjoyable. go. Anyway, you get the idea. I wanted something simple. I think this one is the perfect one to do to follow up on the prior. This one is right to the left of the other, so I'm going to... God, they are really not happy. See this one, it's got like a little bud. I have a magnifying glass in there, but I think it would probably burn the paper with the sun if I put it on there, so I'm not going to. Okay, and yes, this one has even coming down into there, just like I saw up here. It's just interesting how this is made. All right, let's go in with the Violet Lake. Is where this Violet Lake is coming in. Okay. Interesting. All right, this is going to be a lot about the leaves, so let's go ahead and start pulling leaves in, and then we will fine-tune these individual flowers some more. At the top, we have a V. These two are going to meet somewhere, and I'm going to say right there. All right, let's do it. So like I said, we know these two are going to be meeting up right in the middle somewhere. So we're going to take this one and pull it right down here. And we're going to pull this one right down here. And there we are, meeting in the middle. This could actually be a little thicker. There we go. All right, there's our first one. Like I said, it's all about the leaves and the structure on this. So the next section that they're joining are these two over here. And it's kind of the same deal where they're kind of joining, and it's going to be, I'm going to put that join right about here. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. And then this down here is kind of coming into this one right here. All right, so we're gonna pull this one down. I'm going with water for now. And let's pull the paint in. And there. And that's where we'll have that one of those little knuckles. Okay. So we are going to pull from here, just like that. And we're going to do one on this side as well. Put a little bit higher up, just like that. We are making a kangaroo paw. Not hard, just tricky, because you want to make sure that you're making it not anatomically, botanically correct. All right, and there is a knuckle kind of here. From here, we can kind of be a little freer because we know now what we're going for. Well, I like the way this one kind of comes from behind there. I like that a lot, but I am going to pull a small one there. And then this is going to come all the way behind that one. And it is going to join up with these.
Gonna zip through part of this for you
because it is getting quite long for such a simple flower. But essentially, you see what I'm doing. I'm pulling together all of these individual stems and little wispy leaves. This is very, very disciplined for me to be slow and steady. Try to get my stems the same size. So see what I did there? Pull that one out that way. Okay, now I'm just gonna go crazy with my leaves. I do want a big one coming off of here. There they go, chirping away, little maniacs. All right, let's get one right off of this, which has been kind of the norm to have one where that flower's coming out, the stem, and then I can put in some here. I am so dreading winter. Although I get a lot of cardinals here, I'm dreading it because being able to sit out here in the sunshine and paint, oh, it's just so wonderful. Yep, I need to wet this more. One more. This is just for me. So there we go. Now I think we're going to go back into those flowers and add some more detail. Let's start with this pretty little violet lake. Now that I've got this really fine brush here. It's not going to take a lot on these as far as detail goes. They are really kind of very simple. I'm going to put some more of the cobalt violet at the tips of some of these. As I've gone along, I've kind of been able to see how they are. So like these here, a little bit more of the violet lake in these areas, but then at the very tips, I want to put a little bit more of the cobalt. Kangaroo paw, who knew? I'm sure some of you did. Do these grow by you? Let me know that in the comments, because I had never heard of them. And I think they're adorable. So let's go back to this cobalt. And right at the tips of these, just gonna kind of define those a little bit. Oops, got crazy on that one. Nature's amazing. All right, there we are. Last thing to do is to look at these stems, see if there's anything we want to make darker. There probably is. I'm going to just drop some darker color in a couple places. It's the balancing act between the water and the paint. Once you get used to it, it's great. And it's also the reason why you should paint every day a little bit if you can. If you can't, you know, that's understandable. Our lives get busy. When my kids were little, shoot, there was no way. I remember I stopped painting for like 20 years because I just didn't have time. I had to just put things aside for a while. But then once I started again, I realized that I had lost a lot of that motor skills and the, you know, remembering what paint acted like on different types of paper with different amounts of water, and you know, the supplies I had changed. And the last thing I would do though is to put the name, just like I did here where I put ranunculus. I'm going to do the same thing on this one, but I'm going to put it up here. So let's go ahead and do that. This is Kangaroo Paw. I will put that up there in all caps. I have horrible handwriting, so this is a struggle too. And it is, oh boy, Anigoxanthus. Anigoxanthus. Flavius? Flavidus. That's what it is. So let's pull this out, and you can see I've done that on all of them. So there's our kangaroo paw, and I hope you will give this a try. If you get the book, or if you just decide that you want to find some other reference photos for your florals, let me know if you find something that you really like that I might want to try as well. Let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. But again, all of these things are in the description below if you decide that you want to purchase. And I hope you'll go back and watch this one. And we've got both of them on this area that you can try. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and take care.